Like, okay, so Colin O'Donoghue is totally, like, freaking hot. Have you seen him? I mean, have you freaking seen him? Like, no freaking way.
Oh my god.
Easy
Brilliant.
to do Valley Girl, people.
I do, yeah, Valley Girl. Thank you. I'm here all night. I'm here all night.
Welcome to episode 23 of Once Upon a Captain Swan. I'm your host, Sarah, and we got a small crew today, but that's all right. We'll make it work. We
Yeah,
have
we can.
JMO,
Hello.
Lindsay,
Ahoy.
Gabrielle,
I'm sporty here.
and Kimberly.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
Yes.
Have a bit too much drink last night, Gab?
We all
Yeah.
had a little too much to drink last night.
Happy Gabs.
Yeah, Lindsay, I don't want to see that wine anymore.
It's all. I'm on whiskey now. It's all right.
Don't you talk about it.
She just went straight Scottish when she said it's alright.
She did, yeah.
You can.
All right, so what was I talking about?
Colin O'Donoghue being hot.
So hot. So hot.
So hot.
So hot.
Today we are doing a big fan art appreciation episode to celebrate all the amazing CSers in our fandom that give us beautiful drawings, manips, gift sets, and all this great stuff to look at on social media every day, every week, every month, all the time. It's beautiful. We love all of you guys. So this
Bless
episode
you.
is dedicated to you, and we want to appreciate you. We have two very special guests that we're going to get to later. We have Kris, aka Flipperbrain, and we have Bianca, aka Ships Ahoy. So they're going to come on and join us later for some questions. And it's going to be a fun episode.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so excited.
But
It's
first,
lit, fam.
let's get this out of the way.
Y'all know what it is. Let's go.
You know what's coming.
We had an episode last Sunday, the winter
Oh,
finale.
did we? Oh, was it?
Yeah,
Finale.
episode 610. Wish you were here. All right, who wants to go first with their thoughts?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Don't all
You know
jump at
what?
once.
Yeah, you know it's bad when you wait till the night before you record the podcast to watch the episode. So
Ooh.
Ooh.
I did not watch the episode until late last night.
So it's fresh in your head.
Yeah, so I mean, and that's kind of how I was. I was like, all right, I'm already hearing some not so great things and some okay things, and so, I mean, I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it either. You know what I mean? And so, I lost my mind with Old Snow and Charming.
Oh, I know you
lost
did.
my
babe.
mind. And Sweet Baby Henry, like, there were parts of it that were great. There really were. Because that's something that I've always wanted to see, headcanon-wise, is, you know, what would the Charming family look like if they were in the Enchanted Forest? Now, I'm sure I can speak for everybody when I can say that I am not pleased. Seriously, Kat, right now is when you're going to do that.
There we go.
Just keep his comment.
Seriously, you know, I'm not happy with what they did with Emma, and I'm sure part of that was the wish, and that's fine, and I totally get that, but like, I'm sorry, it just rubbed me the wrong way, but I will say that I felt the twist was good because I was not expecting it. Like, I'm sitting there like, who's under the hood? Who's under the hood? Spoiler alert. And I was like, oh, it's Jafar, blah, 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 blah. No. Bing, bang. I actually said, holy shit. And that was like the only thing. Like, it wasn't like it was like, oh, holy shit, I'm left reeling. It was just like oh, dang, they went there. All right, okay, I can ride this wave. And so while I'm not happy with the episode, it was probably a solid 5 in my book, 5 or 6. Yeah.
I would also give it a 5. It was okay, but really, it wasn't really a mid-season finale.
Yeah.
Focus on the positives. The last 20 seconds for me personally was amazing. I am Sean Maguire trash. And I am glad Emma didn't jump in at the end, like into Portal, because, you know, at the end of the day, everyone went to the underworld for Hook. So it's understandable that, you know, Emma understands that, you know, it's Sean Maguire, you can't just walk away from that.
I mean, like, I didn't like what they did with his hair.
Yeah,
Well,
it's too dark.
I was loving it. I was like, just give it to me. Just give it to me all. I'm
I
the
didn't like
cape.
the
I'm
short
the
hair,
cape.
which is weird for me because you know I don't like the long hair on most people, and I was just like, oh, Sean, you look really good, but I'm not sure about that hair.
The cape.
I was very torn.
Okay. The positive was Captain Charming. I love them so much. They're amazing. I actually watched it before work, so I was pretty tired. And for one moment, I did actually think they were gonna kiss, and I was like, I still kind of want that to happen, please. You know, secretly, deep down. And like Kim, you know, I get why we did this whole like wish world and everything. You know, oh, she's coming with a prize. They kept saying that about 7 times. But I'm so disappointed. I've been a fan of the show from the beginning, and one of the things that I really wanted was to see what it would be like of Emma growing up without the curse, and for them to just do it like they have done, it was very disappointing for me. So I am pretty sad. But the worst part of the episode for me was when Regina killed Emma's parents and then dismissing it as being not real. For Emma, in that moment, it was real, and you can't dismiss that. It's like earlier this year, I was having a really bad panic attack, and I won't say who it was, but like someone was like shaking me and saying, you know, you're overreacting, snap out of it. But, and you know, looking back, yeah, I did overreact, but in that moment, it was so real, and it was, you know, just to dismiss that is just, that really like upset me. So that was pretty shit. But overall, I liked Emma's outfit. I liked her singing, and it was okay. It was a decent idea, like, but it was just poorly executed. So I would give it a 5 also.
I've watched this show like from the beginning, and this has been like the worst episode since ever. Like this season has just been such a big disappointment, and I feel kind of like upset with the writers, especially because I feel like they're so disconnected with their own show. But like for me, it's like between a 1 and a 3. Emma, there's no way that Snow being Snow would ever let her child be that weak. So for her to be that, oh no, you know, here, you know, like that was just like, come on. I didn't like anything about it. So like nothing was resolved with Snowing as far as the curse over them. Where's Jafar at? I mean, that's I thought this
you
was
care
Aladdin.
about?
Well, yeah, because I love Odette, and plus, I mean, this is supposed to be Aladdin, you know, influence in the season, and we have not had any.
Yeah, it's like Dr. Andy as well. It's like, bloody hell, where you gone?
Yeah, so it's just really annoying. I feel bad for the actors because they put so much time in this and to get such shitty writing, it's really unfair to them.
Yeah.
But that's it. Can't talk about this.
I think Aladdin said it best. Ew.
Yeah. Oh my god, that was so funny.
Just saying. I completely agree with everything Lindsay said, everything Gabrielle said. The scene when Lindsay was talking about, you know, Regina killing Snow and David and just brushing it off like, ooh, it wasn't real. And then when she sees Robin, like, ooh, he's here. Oh my god. And Emma's like, he's not real, and she's not listening to him.
Exactly.
Stop using weak Emma to prop up Regina. That's all I'm going to say.
Preach it, J-Mo.
Yeah.
Preach.
And I'm giving it a 3.
Oh, dang, Gina.
Sarah.
Positives of this episode. Emma's wardrobe.
More
Yep.
cosplay ideas.
Yeah. But even that was hard to stomach because of how
Well, yeah.
weak they made her
Yeah.
character. And again, I can understand their argument that this is a wish realm and that this is Regina's wish realm. But at the same time, then Adam comes on Twitter and says that no, it's actually now a real world, and he contradicts himself. And so I don't know what to believe.
That's what's really annoying me. It's like the writers don't even know. Like Jane said one thing, Adam says another. They're not even talking in the writers' room. How concerning is that?
Yeah.
Very. Extremely.
So
Warning bells.
I give it a 0. I think it was my least favorite episode ever.
I mean, I'd rather watch The Bear and the Bow 3 times over. There. Was that the Bear King? Or sorry, whatever that episode.
I wouldn't know because I still haven't watched that episode.
I mean,
so.
seriously, Sarah, you should watch the episode instead of that one.
I mean,
the
I love
finale.
Merida, so at this point, I'm all for it because.
Yeah.
You can look at
So
Leah
are you
Dragon's
saying-
face.
Are you saying you would watch Broken Mirror and I'll Be Your Mirror back to back over this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I'm confused.
Who is pouring in the
Lindsay.
Jesus Christ.
Lindsay,
Oh shit! I forgot to put it on mute. I'm sorry.
you do not need it anymore, Lindsay.
I'm sorry. That is
I
the
put it
best
on mute. I'm sorry.
You better fucking that. You better. That is a great sound effect for this conversation.
We all need some drinks. I mean, I'll take some more drinks after that.
It sounded like the perfect pour too.
Sorry, guys.
I'm crying. Oh my god.
Can we talk about the recall? I am a sucker for I can't remember the actual like term for it, but like when they did the wish and they cut to her with the star candle, that parallel between
Yes.
the first
Oh,
episode.
yeah.
That was
Oh,
cute.
I had so high hopes. I was like, oh, it's
It's
gonna be
happening.
perfect. And then no. Like,
And then
'cause I
no.
thought we were going to Boston, right? Like I thought we were just gonna go back to Boston. We were gonna get to see Emma kicking ass being a bail bonds person for a while, like it was great shadow, and I'm always a sucker for that. Like every time you recall something that was done, and you do it right, it makes me so happy. But they didn't, and I was sad. But that was a great moment, like that 5 seconds, right? Like it was great.
Yeah.
But also, like, the only, like, see, that they shouldn't have sent Regina to go get her, because the only way Regina could do it is resort to violence. But Killian, or even Henry himself, could have talked her out of it. But Regina has to go to violence.
Yeah, you're
and
gonna
it's
send
really...
the evil queen to a world where she's still the evil queen,
Exactly.
and then expect her to get through to everyone. No.
Exactly. Made no sense.
Yeah, Henry
Just
should have
a hard
gone.
on.
So we have a lot of thoughts from our listeners about this episode, not
Oh, yeah.
surprisingly.
Mhm.
Obi's girl on Twitter gave it a 1. It didn't make sense upon first viewing, plus no interaction between Princess Emma and Hook in the Wish World. Linda
Amen.
asked why 0 was not a choice. But it totally is. It totally is, girl. Totally is. Go for it.
Totally.
Devin gave it a 0.5. Chantal gave it a 5.5. She says if the show is about hope, then she'll give it to them. Our good friend H gave it a 2. She says, just because I like the idea of the Wish Realm, but it didn't feel like a winner finale. I give no shit about Regina, and not enough screen time for the other characters. Rumble was okay in this ep, and it was something good, especially after this ship has been destroyed a million times by the writers. No CS time is a real shame. She likes Outlaw Queen. She hopes that they will make it cool, more like 3B Outlaw Queen, and she wonders how Wish Realm Robin will react to Baby Robin, which is interesting. I didn't actually think about that. Will we get to see this Robin meet Baby Robin?
Hmm.
Tranquility gave it 3 out of 10 because when she forced herself to rewatch, she actually found a couple of interesting things. #foreshadowing. I'd like to know more. Send us more of those thoughts.
Yeah, please. Don't just leave it on that.
Brandy says she's glad that we finally know who the hooded figure is, and she can't wait to see what's next for Outlaw Queen. That's what I got on Twitter.
On Tumblr, Little Miss Passionate gave it a 4.5. Monica, aka Captain Swan and Clintasha, gave it an 8. Charming, Captain Charming, the beautiful Princess Emma, and how she looked, and Aladdin. I'll never forget his little ew. Saved this episode. Of Ships and Swans says I'd probably say 7. I'm a little more forgiving of things, but I get why people weren't happy. I did like the premise, although the mechanics could have been thought out more. I love seeing an incarnation of Princess Emma, even if it wasn't the one I wanted. The highlight for me, apart from that, was Aladdin and Robin at the end. There were some gems in the episode, so yeah, a 7.
Okay.
Profoundly Faded Princess says, a solid 8. I enjoyed it. I loved Princess Emma and Prince Henry. Despite the disappointment of no alternate universe Killian, it's fine. Good setup for the next half. Roll on March. That one says 4.5. The only enjoyable things were Captain Charming and Aladdin and Jasmine. Everything else was a bowl of what the fuck. Well, except for Emma waking up because she didn't want Henry to become a killer, but everything else is bleh. October Faye says, why is 0 not an option? We've already been through this. It is. Quite possibly the worst episode they've ever done. 411 was so bad that I re-edited it to make more sense. There's no escaping this one. That was from This Is Even Harder Than naming a blog. Bleeblug says probably a 4 for me. It wasn't completely void of entertainment. I loved the Captain Charming with Jasmine. I loved Sassy Aladdin, and the costumes were incredible. But I feel like they kind of screwed themselves with the fake AU. Too many things didn't make sense, and I'm still bitter that Regina had to kill Snowing. I think that she would have given their hearts back and tried another method. It was unnecessarily cruel to Emma, even if they justified her actions. Spartan Guard says it was a 7 for me. Not the strongest writing on the whole, but I love what it's setting up. Love the Captain Charming Aladdin scenes, and love the Robin and hooded figure reveals, as well as the parallels to the pilot. And finally, Kristen, aka Emma Loves Killian X, says -100 with a laughing crying emoji.
Okay, and then on Instagram we've got 2 comments. So the first one was from Jess Ephraim, and she's like, sigh, just for you guys. I actually liked it. It wasn't my favourite, but I didn't hate it. I understand that it was a wish world of the evil queen. I loved Emma humming in the forest. I thought Killian was trying to do what he could. I didn't think he was just hanging around. He was doing what heroes do, never giving up. Also, he looked after Henry. All in all, I was fine with it, but I will add this comment. Did you notice in the evil Queenland, Henry had Emma's fight and had more confidence raised by Emma than in normal world raised by Regina? Also, if I was Emma, I would have jumped into the portal.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that point?
So, which doesn't make any sense considering that they showed her so weak. Like, if he was going to be raised, if he was going to be raised like that, then you would have think that his mother would have been the strong one to teach him, unless he was taught by Gramps.
If Emma is not the savior, right? Someone has to be the savior. And so my thought on Henry being so strong is that it skipped a line, so it skipped Emma and went to Henry, which is why Henry was willing to do what needed to be done, which was kill friggin' Regina. So my thought on that is that, yeah, maybe Daddy Charming taught him, or Grandpa Charming taught him, but I think that in Wish World, that would mean Henry is the savior.
Interesting.
Instead of Emma. Yeah. So I'd like to see where they take that, because now they're going to have to unfreeze them and deal with that whole kind of nonsense. But that's my thought, is that, and I thought that, it was like, oh dang, he's gonna kill her because he's the savior, and then they froze it.
And they froze it.
Yeah. So
it's like, yeah, I get that it's like Emma growing up without challenges. I get all that, and that's like Wish World, blah blah blah, but it's a bit weird. Anyway, moving on. The next comment is by Swan Princess. They completely ruined Emma's character just to make Regina look better. I'd give it a 1. And there we go.
Damn right. Kim, you wanted to revise your rating.
Yeah. Upon revisiting and thinking this over, I'm gonna give it a 2.
Oh yeah, she dropped.
I'm gonna go back down to a 2. And the only saving parts were legitimately Captain Charming.
Yeah.
Like, that was it. But no, that's a legitimate thought I had was, so did the Ogre Wars not happen? Like, so if there had to be some sort of strife in the kingdom. You can't just have like a happy little. I'm just struggling, which is why I'm going back down to a 2.
It's too
It
many
is,
questions. Too many questions.
And
Grace.
why is
Funny.
Granny still alive, but Snow and Charming are old? Why is Granny still knocking about? Why are dwarves the same
Seriously.
age?
Where's Ruby? Like, what the fuck's going on with Ruby? Like, what? Yeah, that is a good point about Granny. How the fuck is Granny still alive if David and Snow are so fucking old?
Yeah. You know, I honestly thought that Henry was playing Emma's brother by the way that Emma was acting. Like,
No, me
'cause she-
too. Me too.
Yeah.
Because my first thought was, who's the father? And is that actually the son? Like, is that actually her son?
Painting.
Well, because she was so like,
That work of art on the wall.
she was so dainty and princessy. Like, it was just like she had no backbone.
She's meant to be 30 years old, right? And she was hiding behind trees going, Daddy, save me! I mean, like,
Oh my
in
god.
real life, who actually acts
not.
like that? No one.
Well, what mother would do that? I just don't.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Seriously. I'm just saying that Emma was too OOC. Like,
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
So, that wraps up 6A. We are now on hiatus for another 3 months, even though they told us that wasn't going to happen this year. But here we are. Here we are
Yeah, but the
again with another
positive
March
is-
return.
The positive is it's going to be back like 2 days for my birthday, so I'm just going to be happy.
There you go.
Well, we'll be much closer to going to Van, so hey.
Yes.
Crochet.
Yes. So let's move on to happier things like fan art.
Yes, like pretty things.
So what do you guys love about fan art? Like, what are some of your favorite types of fan art, whether it's manips or drawings or gift sets? What do you guys like seek out when you're online that just kills you?
So for me, I absolutely love CSAU week. I love all the
yes.
Yes.
the gift sets and like the like potential stories and then fanfics coming and the fan art as well. Like the fan art to go with it, it's just it brings out the best of the fandom. And that week is always the most positive time to be part of the fandom because it's the time when
Yeah.
we're the most creative, and I absolutely adore it.
I'm so glad you brought that up because that is such honestly the best week of the year in the fandom for sure.
Yeah.
It is.
Mhm.
Yeah, I love AU art so much because I'm not an artist myself, so to see people that are kind of, I feel like they're picking ideas out of my brain that I could not produce myself. So to see those ideas come to life, it is so great. And this fandom is so freaking talented that I can't stand it sometimes. So yeah, AU art is just gives me so much life.
Yeah. Especially after wanting all the AU stuff from this past episode and being disappointed by it and have all of the rest of the
Yes.
gonna be like, I'm gonna fix it.
Every person out
yeah.
there who made gift sets of Killian and Princess Emma, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you,
Yes.
thank
Yes.
you.
Yes.
God bless you, fam.
It fills a hole that that the writers give us. They
Yeah.
don't fulfill what we want them to fulfill, so we have to
Mhm.
go seek it somewhere else, and that's perfect from gifts or manips or edits or whatever.
Exactly. I love it all. I
Mhm.
won't sugarcoat it. Give me a good gift set where I can just cry my heart out over some angsty shit. Give me a good manip where I can see like a story being brought to life in a different AU, like whether it's Canon Divergence AU, like a Lieutenant Duckling scene or something like that, and then
Or smut. Sorry.
or smut.
So yeah, smut week.
Yeah.
Good week.
Oh, sorry, J-Mo. I didn't.
It's okay. It's okay. No, I totally agree with you on that one.
Just thought
And
I-
then all the actual people who can actually draw and are painstakingly putting together all of these details on all these different mediums. It's fucking incredible.
like for me, I'm like, because we haven't had a scene. The smetty ones are my favorite, and whenever I find a good one, I'm like, I get like such a high. I'm like, yes, I can stare at this all day because like we haven't had it. Hint, hint, people, we have not had one. So
I'm clapping like Eddie Murphy and the Nutty Professor. Hercules, Hercules.
yeah.
Yes.
I'm a sucker for gift sets in comparison to other shows, other movies, other things like that, where you're drawing parallels to other ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
JMO does a really good job of tagging me in the ones that are Star Wars related because reasons. But
Yeah.
No, really?
Please tell us the reasons, Sarah
I
Kim.
had no idea.
What
And
are you doing?
what are you doing? So I'm a sucker for things like that where yeah, I really like a gift set and I will look at other fan art and I'm insanely jealous because I cannot even do like a proper stick figure. I am not like musician, singing, acting, things like that I can totally handle with drawing. Dude, I can't even draw a friggin' stick figure. Are you kidding me? So for me, I will see these things and I am just insanely jealous and I am blown away by these men and women who can do something like that. Because I could only hope to do that in my wildest dreams. And everyone always like, oh, just practice, just practice. Well, a shitty stick figure is still a shitty stick figure. 10 stick figures. So there's not a lot of room for growth on there. But yeah, gift sets and things like that, drawing parallels, I am 100% a freaking sucker for.
So, JMO, who are some of your favorite artists?
Oh dear.
Not to put you on the spot, but I'm putting you on the spot.
Uh-huh. Funny enough, two of them are going to be joining us later on. But other than them, Julie, Coco Hook 38, anything she does, whether it's, doing gift sets, her own art, the Tiny Hook series, taking Tenet the Tigger's Tiny Hook series and making it live action with all these different scenes is fucking brilliant. Tenet the Tigger, obviously. You gotta go with the classics, Sarah, Mac, and Svenja. And I started talking to someone else. Her name is Amanda. Her handle is you have the water and Pop Tart. So we've wrecked her stuff before. Her art is incredible as well.
Yeah, she's wonderful.
Lindsay, who are some of your favorites?
Well, I agree with all JMO's recs, but I also recommend Rose Red Art, J Cody Art, Rolly Dodger Jones. Who else have we not mentioned?
Don't mention them all.
I know. Okay, so I'll leave it then. But fans, absolutely brilliant fandom. I love you all.
Yeah.
Gabby, anyone else we've missed so far on your list?
Well, Captain Kitten is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And Sea Starved on Tumblr is awesome
good,
too.
yeah.
I love.
Thank you for mentioning the manip goddesses.
Yes. Our own Ray is awesome.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Sarah.
That's okay.
Cut it out. But that's the only ones I can think of right now.
Kim?
Yeah, no, I'm tapped out. You guys named like everyone that I
So
I
sorry.
shamelessly follow and stuff.
If you'd have like warned us, you can ask us that. I would have had like an essay list. Seriously.
It just came off the top of my head.
I had to stop her because she was gonna name everybody.
Yeah.
I would add Lamora to the list.
Yes.
Oh,
I was
yeah,
gonna
my
say
gosh,
that.
yes.
Yes. I just saw a picture of hers that I liked. Sorry.
Also, and I'm not sure how she pronounces this, Marit or Marit, who does
Oh yes, I know who you're talking about.
the beautiful like red and black drawings, or the they almost look like ghosts.
Yes.
Oh, I
Gorgeous.
know what you mean.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. Love it.
I was gonna add in Damon's Eyes from Redbubble. I have like this drawing framed artwork on my wall that she did. It's awesome. That's all I can think of right now.
It's
Besides
also,
who
and forgive me for the pronunciation, but there's Eleonora Nascimbeni. She's Italian, so please forgive me. But she has an amazing Redbubble store with some beautiful digital art on there as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's great that some of these wonderful artists put all their work available for us to purchase, because we can all have like beautiful phone cases and laptop cases and mugs and shirts and all these great products with some of this beautiful work on it. I just think that that is the coolest thing.
I mean, my phone case is Ceramac.
Mine is
Mhm.
Svenja.
Yeah.
And I also think it's really, really cool that our amazing cast of Once Upon a Time takes the time to give recognition to these artists as well.
For sure.
Jen is always posting fan art on her Instagram. So is Bex. So is Lana. Adam does Fan Art Friday every week, which is awesome. Um, so I just think that's so cool that our cast takes the time to appreciate these people as well. And it also just, I'm sure it makes those artists' day when they see that
Oh,
they're being
Mhm.
recognized. Like that's probably
absolutely.
it's such an amazing feeling. So Catherine over on Twitter said that some of her favorite artists are Svenja, Flipper Brain, Sarah Mack, and Coco Hook. Jessica on
Yeah.
Twitter says, "Who isn't my fave?" Chookers38, Javo Sketches, Flipper Brain, Svenja, Sarah Mack, etc. And then Sarah Mack sent a lovely message that just says, "I love our fandom artists. They're so clever and unique."
Oh, that's
Yeah.
lovely.
I want to welcome to the show two very special guests for our Spotlight on Fan Art segment. We have Kris, aka Flipper Brain, and Bianca, aka Ships Ahoy.
Woo!
Hello.
Yay!
So Kris and Bianca are both amazing contributors to the CS fandom, and we thought it would be fun to kind of pick their brains a little and get a little behind the scenes scoop into how that they create their amazing fan art. So welcome, ladies.
Thank
Hi.
you. Thank you for having me.
So the first question I have is for both of you. What is it about Captain Swan that inspires you to create fan art?
Oh gosh. um,
Well, obviously, Colin O'Donoghue is pretty easy on the eyes, so
I had to notice.
so it's pretty joyful for me to draw his face, and so that's really what inspired me. I mean, aside from the fact that I just love the story and I've loved the show really since the get-go, even though I only joined the fandom recently, um, he's just too beautiful not to pay attention to.
For me, I think it's just they're so pretty together. I think you guys can agree on.
Yes.
Oh yeah, hottest couple ever.
I know. So
Yes.
I want to immortalize that forever and make sure it's on the internet and shove it in everyone's faces.
Yeah.
Exactly. The perfect OTP. Okay.
Yes.
They are the
Yeah.
couple that everyone ships without even watching the show,
Yeah.
just by looking at them.
exactly. There's that one like post on Tumblr where it's like I don't even know what the show is. I don't even watch it, but I totally ship them and
Yeah.
kind of
I
like
love that post.
yeah.
So another question for both of you. I know that you both work in graphic design, at least obviously outside of the fandom. What made you want to bring those skills into your fandom life?
Well, I've been working in advertising for a very long time. And I started out as an illustrator in an illustration studio and then moved to an advertising agency. Unfortunately, the market for illustration just isn't that great in the Detroit area. So even though I did a lot of freelance for a long time, I kind of just stopped doing it. There just wasn't a lot of demand for my particular style. But once I really got into watching Once Upon a Time and got into the fandom and realized that, hey, there's people out there that want to see this stuff, and it was really a lot of fun for me to produce it. It really sort of rekindled my joy for doing illustration again. So, I'll be grateful forever for Captain Swan for, giving me that drive and desire to draw again. So it's been pretty joyful for me to, be able to share stuff, and I'm really appreciative that people seem to like it.
Oh, that's lovely.
So good. For me, I recently just graduated in 2014. So, I got my fine art degree in graphic design, and I was working, but at the time I used to work like 2 jobs, and I had school, and then all of a sudden, you know, you graduate and you're like, I have all this free time. And and like I had skills, but like I felt like I needed to practice some more, and you know, the best way to practice is to make manips and stuff like that. And I've been doing it like since high school. Like I started with Harry Potter, and I did for that in that fandom, and then you know, that fandom kind of died down a little bit, and not as many people were producing things anymore. And I've had a Tumblr for like 7 years or something crazy like that. So I recently, like that year, I recently just started logging back on, and I saw like all like the great gifsets that everyone was making. And I'm like, I don't know how to make a GIF. Like, I feel like they should have taught me this in school. So and you
Totally
know,
agree.
yeah, my whole goal, like how I was rationalizing it, other than like being a total like fangirl, was that, you know, oh, I'm practicing. Like I really need to figure out this like technique on Photoshop, and instead of messing around with like ugly stock photos, like why not, you know, mess around with pretty people here. That's kind of how I started, and like why I wanted to bring those skills into the fandom. And of course, you know, I felt like if I was contributing to the fandom, that, you know, like other people would appreciate it, and, you know, bring more people into the fandom, so it's like a little bit bigger and stuff like that. Yeah, and I think it's been pretty nice so far. I met like a lot of nice people, so it's been great.
Another question for both of you. What is it about certain scenes that make you want to create art for it?
Well, really, when I started doing this, one of the reasons why I started recreating scenes was particularly in Neverland, and a lot of the sort of dark one scenes, interaction between Emma and Killian. The lighting was so dark that I couldn't see Killian's eyes, and I couldn't see the details that I wanted to see. So I really got in there, you know, and I wanted to like recreate those scenes so that I could see his face, and her face, of course. So that's really why I started, was kind of mining out those details, and it sort of has grown into, you know, Captain Swan dancing for the Bolshoi, and, you know, doing a tango. But you know, so it's branched out into a lot of different areas, but that's really where it started.
Give me all of the details in the face.
Every detail of his face.
Yes.
And we thank you for those details.
Yes.
I think I started actually creating at the end of season 4. Up until then, I've just been like a quiet observer. And then I think like the last episode, the season finale, where Emma says, I love you, like really, for some reason, like really hit me. So it was just so dramatic, and it was so sad. Like, she just said, I love you. She's like, poof, gone away. And then I was like, I'm really sad about this. And the season was really nice. So I, you know, really wanted to invoke some sort of emotion into what I create. So when I make like GIF sets with like lyrics and stuff, I tend to like make more angsty stuff.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Mostly everything I do is like really sad, or like I get a lot of tags back on my work, like, why would she do this? Someone take away her Photoshop or something.
No, I love it. Keep it going.
So yeah, so I tend to do more scenes that are sadder, which are, I mean, I tried and go back and do lighter things, but it's just I don't know how to make happy things apparently.
That's good.
I love that emotion, and I know it's like angst and everyone hates it, but I think it's good when the payoff is like, you know, you get reunited, and we get like this attack cheek kisses from Piano season 5. So,
Not giving me PLV. Damn.
that's my job.
We love the angst, Bianca.
Yeah,
Oh,
you're
you
in good
do.
company with the angst crew over here.
Yes, you
Yes.
are.
It hurts so good, I think. And
Exactly.
I think I just need to share that. Like, I
Yes.
can't keep it inside, so I'm like, oh, I need to, like, other people need to hurt with me.
Spread it around.
So Bianca, do you prefer gifting or your manips? Which venue do you prefer doing?
Oh gosh. It's I think now that when I first started, I preferred the photo manipulation because it was easier. But it took so long. Like, it takes me so long to create something for some reason. Like, I sit there and I can't just like I can't think of what I'm gonna do at first. So with jiffing, it's like a lot easier. You kind of have your scenes or your clips, and you can just clip them out, and it takes less time to create. Like, you know how fast people can turn around GIF sets like that night, and you're like, where how did you get this? Like, who
Crazy
did you?
Literally my reaction every time an episode airs. How do you guys do
Yes.
that so quickly?
And
How is it up already?
Or how do you do it at all?
Yeah.
That's just my question.
So I do prefer jiffing just because it's easier, and for some reason, like, people gravitate to that more. When I post manips, like, they get like shoved into like the Tumblr space, and you don't really ever see them. Like, I've made a few, and then all of a sudden, like, they didn't really get a lot of notes. So then when I started jiffing is when I actually started gaining some sort of traction, and it's actually really cool to do because, you know, you can put multiple scenes together and sync them up, or, you know, make them, you know, and it's kind of like video manipulation in that way. So yeah, I prefer GIFs over manips in this case. But manips have their use, and I love doing it. It just takes so much time.
Rachel, who is not with us today, but she understands the struggle.
Yes,
Yeah.
she does.
So Kris, I'm dying to know, what was your reaction when Jennifer posted your work on her Instagram?
Oh my God. Well, I was getting ready to go to work, and all of a sudden I started getting texts, and, you know, my Twitter feed blew up. And I couldn't even stay long enough to kind of appreciate it. So I went to work, and, you know, it was just a mess the entire day. You know, I didn't really want to say anything because I think people at work think I'm crazy pretty much. You know, because I have a couple of shirts that I've made, you know, with Captain Hook things. Like right now I'm wearing my Captain Floor shirt for this occasion.
Yes.
So, you know, I didn't want to say too much, but, you know, I couldn't keep it in. So anyways, I told people, and they were pretty excited about it. You know, it was like my 15 minutes of fame, I guess, but it felt pretty good to get noticed, especially since, you know, it came out of the blue. Like, she just found it and posted it. So, yeah, was pretty exciting, and still pretty exciting.
You know she has a secret Tumblr somewhere that she just stalks all of the fan art. And
Well, I think she must look at stuff because, you know, she posts things periodically, and it's pretty awesome that she does that. You know, that she supports, you know, the artists that are creating stuff. I wish Colin would do it. I keep hoping that he'll post something of mine. And I'm definitely, when I go to Vancouver, I'm going to print out some things. I'll print that out and get her to sign it.
Kris,
But
I'm so
yeah,
excited.
Oh, that's
excited
going to be such a
to
cool
share
moment for you.
share some stuff with those guys, and should be pretty fun. And meet some of you girls too.
I know. I was
Yes.
just saying, I'm so excited to meet you, Kris.
Oh, it's gonna be awesome.
oh my God, I can't wait.
Flipper brain herself.
I know.
You're like my own little mini celebrity. Sorry.
Yeah.
So Kris, I feel like you have this signature color scheme, and it's one of the things that makes your work so great. How did you decide on that color scheme?
That's a good question. I sort of have created over time like a bunch of backgrounds, and then I'll kind of like just adjust them depending, if I want, um, like for this last like Marry Me one that I did, I wanted kind of
Oh
like
my God.
sunsetty sort of thing. So I just kind of looked through my archive of gradients and different backgrounds that I have, and it's like, oh, okay, that one looks kind of sunsetty. And so they tend to kind of tie together in that way because the colors are similar. And some things just work better with flesh tones. So, because I try and be pretty limited with color, although some have more than others. Um, so I don't try, I stay away from a lot of green. But that's kind of the method to my madness. I've always used a lot of color, and I like bright, sort of happy colors. So I've just kind of created this uh, set of things that I draw from and then make adjustments to it accordingly.
I love it because even in the darkest, most angsty of scene, you still bring this brightness to it. And I just love that. It almost gives, whatever angsty scene it is, just like this essence of hope because of the bright color. I love that.
There is. There's a little hope. There's always hope.
Yes.
About how long does it take you to do one of your drawings?
It sort of depends. Obviously, the scenes, if they're, they exist, it's a lot easier. Some of these other ones, like some of the couple of the dancing ones that I've done, I have to look for photo reference, or it just takes longer. Sometimes I'll shoot my own hands, for poses and stuff like that.
Oh.
So if you see Killian's hand has stubby, girly fingers, then it's probably because it's my hand. So obviously those take longer. I mean, and a lot of times, like, I'll start working on something like that. The proposal one, I had started quite a while ago. And I don't know, I work on something for a while and I get bored with it, and I move on to something else and come back and, change things or edit this and that. So, I mean, I guess it could take, a few hours over the course of maybe 3 or 4 days to do one. And then maybe a scene I might be able to, turn around in 3 or 4 hours.
Not bad.
Question for both of you. What programs do you guys use?
I pretty much work exclusively in Photoshop, but sometimes I'll sketch things like some of the lettering that I've done. I'll do it by hand and scan it in and then draw it. But yeah, pretty much Photoshop. Like the cards that I did those in Illustrator.
Yeah, mostly for GIFs. You're mostly working in Photoshop. I did a series of I think I called it like Captain Swan scenes, back, I don't remember, at the end of season 5. It's been a while. And so I started doing those, and I actually did those a combination of Photoshop, and I actually also used InDesign, which is like a layout program done by Adobe. So it's just to set the type. And so I did all the coloring in Photoshop, and then I brought that photo in and did it in InDesign. And then I'm also working on another project that's mostly in InDesign, which I'm kind of excited about. So
Sounds great.
And Bianca, you kind of talked about this a little bit earlier, but when you're using lyrics in your sets, what is it about a particular song that when you hear it, it makes you want to use the lyrics?
Normally, if this song has been stuck in my head for weeks on end, then that means I have to create a gifset or something like that. And that's one way to get a song out of your head.
That's very true.
Sometimes some lyrics, it's mostly the lyrics that jump out at me. Sometimes it's the mood of the song. There are people have made playlists before, like Captain Swan playlists. I know some people have made, and I started making my own because I'm like listening to a bunch of songs. I'm like, this really reminds me of that time when, like, you know, something or something like that. And that's usually how it happens. And it's most of the songs I choose, or usually I come to on my own. I do have like an inbox full of requests people have given me, but the song really has to jump out and inspire me in order for me to actually make a gif set out of it. And I actually have to like listening to it. If I don't, then I'm like, I just look up the lyrics and I'm like, okay, I can deal with this. Use it instead. But if the song, I used to choreograph for a color guard, which yeah, I did color guard for 10 years, and so I choreographed and coached. And so listening to music and, like, you know, thinking of the feel and the tone and like of the lyrics has always been something that I've done. And so I just kind of translated that to GIF sets now.
Kris, what made you decide to break out from doing canon scenes to doing headcanon scenes? And, like, where do you get the ideas? Do you get them from fics? Do they just come out of your head? Are they requests from people?
It's sort of a combination of both. I actually, you know, I'd sort of drawn the things that I wanted to see, and, you know, not that there's not other stuff that I could go back, and sometimes I will go back into things and redo them. You know, some of the earlier drawings that I've done, you know, I look at them and I sort of wish they would disappear. So I might do them again. But yeah, I mean, it was more like I kind of had the scene thing had sort of played itself out a little bit, and there was a lot of things like, you know, Emma and Killian eating Chinese food and, you know, by the fire, you know, the scenes that we didn't get to see that I wanted to see. So so that was a lot of it, and just a lot of fun, you know, gee, what would it be like if they were on Dancing with the Stars, or, you know, that kind of thing. I wanted to see like some of that stuff. So some of that's out of my head, and then I get a lot of actually smutty fan art requests.
Yes.
I've got sort of a list of things that I'm trying to get to on that front. So yeah, I was searching for some reference. One of my tabs, I'm probably going to get fired from my job. I'm going to have to clear my history because I've got some pretty steep tabs right now.
That's hilarious.
Sarah, I'm so glad you asked this question because I was totally going to ask her that like later on if you didn't. Because I want to know, was that her idea or was that someone else's idea to do this smut? I love it.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, who's going to turn away from a Captain Swan threesome? You know, it's just
exactly
it's something that you need. You like just
I still wanted to put that as my phone background, but I was like, well, people might see this.
I have it on mine. It's my lock screen.
Yes! Love it. Kris, you are awesome.
Bianca, you've done a little bit of fic banners, including one for our own JMO.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something you plan to do in the future? You know, do people come to you and say, hey, can you do this for me? And is that something you want to continue to do?
Yeah, I actually love making fic banners. I think JMO and I were talking, I don't remember, and I made one out of the blue for her, I think.
I remember that day. I cried. I legit bawled because I couldn't take the feels, and she just offered it, and I was like, okay, and I'm like, I love you so much.
But I'm obsessed with reading fan fiction, and if you write it, I probably have read it, especially Captain Swan, and I've done one for Justine too, and she came to me, but it was part of, like, I offered, like, I was like, hey, I'm taking requests, or, like, it was part of, like, hey, I just hit so many followers, so, you know, I'm opening my requests up, and she was like, I have a fic I'm working on, and it was her Call the Midwife AU.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Born and Paid followed by Joy.
Yeah. she actually told me about it like a long while ago, and I was like, yeah, totally. Like, whenever you want to cash in on this, then let me know. She let me read like the first chapters, and it was like I got really captured by, she wanted to use the yellow bike, like, and Killian, and it's set in like the 1950s London or something like that. Yeah. And I was like, I really liked the style of Call the Midwife, so I really wanted to encapsulate that into like a little banner. And then for like Love and the Time of the Gods, I just love Greek mythology, so it was just I just really wanted to do it for Jenna, so that's how it came. But I love doing fic banners, and I especially love it when someone approaches me, so it's really nice.
And when you're doing them, do you try to capture the whole essence of the story in the banner, or do you kind of pick like a scene, that sticks out to you to try to capture?
I've done okay. So JMO's in a little bit of trouble. I made one for her Werewolf Supernatural AU. Do you remember this, JMO?
I still have it on my phone. And I know I haven't updated it in like 2 years. I need to get back to it.
I'm calling you out on. I love that banner, and no one's seen it, but okay. Maybe I'll just post it.
I will make a note. There's many chapters. I think the muse might finally be speaking to me on that, so hopefully I'll have it updated sometime next year.
Okay.
Next year.
I have so many Secret Santa gifts to post.
No, that one I really I try to encapsulate like different parts of it in one banner. But for like Love and the Time of God, it was scenes that stood out to me. So there's like one that I made where he's in. I don't know if you guys seen it, but it kind of looks like a aesthetic post, and he's in his like Colin's in his night costume, and there's like this one scene where Emma's crying because they just saw Balefire, and she's like all torn up about it, and there was like this one line, I can't remember it, I'm sorry.
No, I'm finding it on my phone right now, girl. Yeah, I'm not even kidding.
But that scene really popped out to me, so I made one for that. And I think Emma, like the whole Camelot aesthetic kind of almost matches what JMO's written. So I kind of like try to merge those two together. So I guess I try to encapsulate the whole story, but I like to tease like certain scenes, depending on.
I found it. The line was, "If I could take away your pain, I would."
Yeah, that's so sad, but it's really nice, and I really wanted to encapsulate that in that banner. And then there's some banners where it's very general.
Kris, your playing card line is so unique and so cool. Where did the inspiration come from to do that?
That's a good question. I don't know. I just decided that I wanted to do some playing cards because they seemed like, Killian of Hearts just seemed like it made sense to me somehow. So it sort of grew into a small series. I really don't have a reason why I did it. It was just something that came into my head. I like that. I wanted to do something that was more graphic and drawn in Adobe Illustrator, just to sort of spread my wings a little bit and try some other things. So that's kind of where it came from. I've looked into, unfortunately, just from usage rights, etc. I looked into having maybe a set, like doing a whole set of cards and having them printed, but it's kind of a slippery slope with rights. So I kind of abandoned like doing the whole set. But they were a lot of fun to do. I may go back and do a few more.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, they're so cool. Question for both of you. And this is probably going to be really tough, and you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but what's been one of your favorite pieces that you've created?
Um,
Uh-oh.
for me, it would be a toss-up between probably the Dark Hook Emma Killian threesome
Yes.
that I
That's
just
my favorite.
I just love Dark Hook's face in that one so much. I just could stare at it forever. And then this last one that I did, the Marry Me one, turned pretty well. It's like I've been spending some time looking at that one. It turned out pretty beautifully, so I was happy with it.
So hard. Like I can tell you the ones I don't like. I think one that really kind of sticks with me is the Once Upon a Dream CS lyrics GIF set that I made. And I don't know if you guys have seen it. I set a GIF set to Once Upon a Dream from Sleeping Beauty. And it's like all Camelot themes. And it's kind of like greenish in hue. And it kind of, that GIF set kind of came to me really quickly, believe it or not. So it kind of starts like, I know you, I walked with you once upon a dream, and it's like Emma and Killian walking in the forest with that horse. And it kind of goes and then it switches at a certain lyric. It says, I know it's true that visions are seldom are these all they seem. So it kind of switches to like from this nice Camelot, like nice Camelot lovey scenes to like, you know, the dark Swan, Dark Hook when they're in the field and they're, you know, he's mad that she used the sword on him. And it just, I love that I took this like Disney song that's supposed to be about love and like be really light, and I kind of like switched it on its head. So that's one of the ones that really stick out to me. Actually, like all of my CS lyrics, most of them actually.
Do either of you have any advice for people who are looking to try their own hand at fan art?
It's a tough one. I mean, I've been doing this for so long that this will date me, but I started working in advertising before there were desktop computers. So drawing by hand was really the norm, and learning how to sketch. And we didn't have the tools that we have now. So I guess my advice would be to don't ignore the basics. That actual drawing and practicing is really important. That try not to jump right on the computer and start working before you've kind of figured out what it is that you want to do, and you've kind of got your chops, from a drawing standpoint.
Yeah, that's great advice.
My advice is to just do it. Practice makes perfect in this way. Like I started, and all my old stuff I think is complete. Like, what was I thinking? It's all pixelated. It's not working. But then everything I learned was trial and error, and by uploading things and knowing what people like and what things didn't get received as well. So just go and find a tutorial and copy it exactly, or as best as you can, and then you adapt those techniques into something original, and then that's where you get practice. And that's how I practice. I find like coloring tutorials or something like that on Tumblr or Google, and I learn how someone else did it, because I don't believe in reinventing the wheel too much. If someone's figured out a technique that works, then you might as well just try it and you learn something from it. So if someone wants to learn how to make GIFs or start photo manipulating. The problem is that Photoshop isn't like a readily available program. You have to buy it, and you have to have a computer. So it's not like you can scan. But if you really are interested, you kind of find ways to figure it out. Like when I first started back in high school, I didn't have Photoshop. I couldn't afford it, and my parents couldn't afford it. So I got like, a lower end program, and, just started working on that. And I was able to make decent manips and stuff like that on it. I couldn't make GIFs. I don't even know if GIFs are a thing. But you just gotta do it, and take the time to actually learn the programs that you need to learn.
Absolutely. I have one final question for both of you. Could you give us any teasers as to what you might be working on next?
Well, one of the tabs open on my browser right now is erotic spanking. So
really awake.
So if that gives you an idea of what could be coming up.
We are woke.
Yeah.
There goes my raging headache.
And something else is raging.
The thirst is real.
Mine's not as fun as that. Actually, I'll just tell you guys, because I don't know if when I'll post it or finish it. I've been working on this idea of character mood boards, and this is what I was talking about earlier about I'm doing this project that's like laid out all mostly in InDesign. And basically, I'm taking each character and I'm laying out a mood board for them. I don't know if you guys are familiar with what that is. Yeah. So I'm like basically taking, a color scheme, a aesthetics board, and typography and icons, and like putting that all in one post. But it's kind of been slow going because I've been a little busy with work. Because
Who needs work?
Yeah. I do design. I am a graphic designer for a design agency here in town. So I've been kind of pulling 12-hour days. Trying to get deadlines in. It's not glamorous, kids. If you want to be a graphic designer,
no, it isn't.
Really. They didn't want me this in school. But that's one project that I'm working on. I have a lot of things in my drafts of gifsets that I started. But I couldn't find the right seams, or like I couldn't get the right coloring right, so they kind of just sit there, and then sometimes they come back up. Like I recently posted the next 10 minutes from The Last 5 Years, the musical, and that one actually sat in my in my drafts for like months before I actually went back to it and started working on it. So there are things that people may have requested like last year that I might pop up again this year. And I'm also working on and I did this like celebrate CS Ahoy kind of thing where I hit 1,000 followers, and I was like, hey, I'll make gifsets based on like why you love Captain Swan. And at the time it sounded like a really great idea, and then I started working on it, and I was like, oh, I'm so busy, I can't work on it.
Aww.
My goal is to finish that sometime soon. So if you requested on that, I'm sorry. I will. I am working on it, and I am aware of it. So yeah.
Do you ladies want to give yourselves some shout outs as to like where everyone can find your work?
You can find my work mostly on Tumblr. It's shipsahoy.tumblr.com.
Best
And
gifts in the world.
yeah, I have a link on my homepage where it says edits, and so you just click that. You'll find everything I've made.
Ooh, gotta go.
So organized. I'm loving it.
And I do have a portfolio, like a professional portfolio. It's biancarosedesign.com. It's kind of boring. People like it. So it's mostly like graphic design layout stuff, and it's kind of old. So anyhow. And I do have a main blog, but I don't post GIFs on it because I mostly just do Captain Swan. But my main blog is Bianca Rose, and instead of an E, it's a 3 at the end.
Fancy.
Pretty much, I'm at Flipperbrain everywhere. On Instagram, Twitter, and on Tumblr. And then I also have a website that has, which I need to update, but it has some of my more commercial work. Is pinkchocolatedesign.com.
Ooh,
Ooh.
I know. Sounds good.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm intrigued.
So for all of our listeners out there, if you're interested in purchasing any of Kris's work, she does have a Redbubble page. Flipper Brain, you can find her on there and purchase all kinds of fun goodies.
Maybe get my
And
next
just
phone case from her.
Yeah, as an aside too, that not that this necessarily matters, but I don't keep any of the money that I make. It all goes to Colin's charity.
Oh,
so,
that's awesome.
So you're supporting
That's
a good
amazing.
That is amazing.
Oh, you star.
Kris, we love you anymore.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much to both of you for coming on and chatting with us. It was such a delight.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's great talking to you girls.
You too.
We love you guys.
Thanks, guys.
You're
Great.
welcome.
That was so much fun. Thanks so much, guys, for joining us.
Yeah, appreciate
My
it.
pleasure.
He's awesome.
So let's move on to Recs for the week. JMO,
Yeah.
you got a rec ready?
I actually have 2.
Woo.
And I'm pandering because it's for both of the people that graciously joined us on the show today. Because I'm like that. Yeah. So, my first rec is by Ships Ahoy, and it's one of her lovely CS Lyric gift sets, and it was just a bunch of beautiful, beautiful scenes of Captain Swan hugging and caressing and being gentle with each other, and doing casual intimacy. Which ended with the makeout on the couch, and it was to Philip's home.
Aww.
And it's so pretty. And then, funny enough, my rec this week for Flipper Brain was her latest one, the Marry Me one with the proposal. I lost my shit when I saw it. I was at work and I was like, why did you have to post this at work while I'm at work? I can't properly freak out, but it's absolutely stunning.
It is.
So I tend to scroll through my Twitter feed very quickly, but this drawing popped up on my feed and I had to stop and be like, oh my god, and stare at it for like a good 5 minutes. It's by the amazing Zia Franny, and it's Hook and Emma, and it's got like a purplish grayish tint to it, and it's just so well done. The detailing is amazing. They both look just stunning in it. So, yeah, Zia Franny.
Yay.
So my recommendation is by Rose Red Art. It's on her Facebook page. She's got a really cute Camelot sketch of Emma and Killian, Eskimo kisses. It's very cute. It's a standard sketch, but it's just beautiful, and I love the Camelot era. And she's really good like art as well. So if have a look on the page, because she's really talented, and all it is, like, she puts so much detail into it. It's really great.
I'm gonna rec this amazing drawing by Clara J. Ira. I have 2.
That's who I was trying to think of.
Yeah, I was saving her for my rec. So I have like 2 drawings of her on my wall as well. She does amazing digital work, and this one is just Captain. It's just Captain Hook. It's Killian, but like I think it's from season 3, Neverland. So he's in his jacket, and it's amazing detail. Like you could see like the details of his beard and chest hair.
Mhm.
You know,
Hello.
awesome. Check her out. She's on Redbubble as well, Society 6, and she has her own page on Facebook.
So I am coming to you with some Princess Emma Regal as fuck realness.
Yes.
Yes, it's
From-
beautiful.
From
Oh, yeah.
Amanda at You Had the Water in the Pop-Tart. We mentioned her earlier. And like this is everything I feel like I needed Princess Emma to fucking be.
Yes.
And
Yes,
like
mama.
she just looks like she's about to like lay down some serious magic and beat down and like but still be, you know, soft and warm and nice to her subjects, you know, like Snow. Like, hey, there's that. Anyway, so the lighting on it is beautiful. Just like it took my breath away when I saw it. So
It's gorgeous.
that is my rec this week.
So that wraps it up for this week. As always, you can check us out on all of our social media. We are OUACS Podcast on Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook, Instagram, WordPress, YouTube, Gmail, and you can like and subscribe us on iTunes, YouTube, Audioboom, and Pocket Casts. Next week, in the spirit of the holidays, we're going to do something really fun and talk about probably our favorite subject, Captain Swan kisses.
Yay.
Yep, a whole episode of it. Be prepared.
Yep.
Let's get Thirst Fest Part 2.
Woo.
Yes.
Ending the year on a high.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then after that, we're going to be officially going on hiatus for a few weeks for the holidays and for some of January. So, sorry to say. But we will continue to keep you guys updated on social media. And we have a few fun ideas that we might try as well throughout the hiatus that you guys can be involved in. So stay tuned. We're working out all those fun ideas. We're also trying to plan some big stuff for Vancouver. So it's kind of why we're taking a little hiatus so that we can plan for Vancouver. And also
Sarah
just,
to finish her costume.
yeah, some of us have a lot of cosplays to finish. And yeah,
Or start.
or start is probably better term.
I'm so sorry. I know. I'm so bad.
I'm so looking forward to seeing your snow outfit. I need to see it.
I know. I need to do it.
Do the thing, Kimberly.
Sorry.
So hit us up on all of our social media. Send us your favorite CS kisses, and we will mention them on the show. And thank you guys for listening, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.